Hey guys, what's going on? It's Trey Volk here, and this is the second of the NRS videos I kind of have in the chamber to put out, or MK videos rather, and it's one about smoke, and I want to talk about the fact that smoke has a couple of very understated privileges in this game that smoke players both do not pay attention to and do not make use of, and also is uniquely unique, I guess, to his character in this game. So the two things that I want to point out about Smoke, and this is why he will never be a low tier in this game, and why the people who downplay him are just like crazy. Okay? Smoke has two privileges in this game. One, he has the capacity to meter dump off any hit, and it counts. And two, he has to make the least amount of actual decisions per round to win. So, what do I mean by this? So, first of all, Smoke is the only character in the game that can actually spend a full stick of butter on a combo, and it doesn't scale significantly, and the damage is always worth it. And it's like infinitely extendable. This is something that other characters in the game cannot do. There is no other character in this game that can loop their EX launcher, essentially, and get enough benefit out of it for it to be worth doing. Instead, they're either forced to spend one bar in the combo there and then run Oki or something like that. So, obviously, an example is, I'm going to go completely cameo-less here for the example, is he can do something like this. And clutch out a kill if he's down on cameo, and no other character can do that. If they're out of cameo and they have a full stick of butter, they can still only spend one bar, or they can spend 2 bars and they have to run an Oki situation, right, to get that much damage, whereas Smoke can just do it if he wants to. And then if he has cameo, it gets, even more rewarding. And a lot of characters just can't do that, right? And that matters because of the way that Smoke is able to kind of... Like, the thing about Smoke, and the thing that sets him apart from the rest of the cast, is he only has to hit you once, and I don't mean that in a vortex kind of a way. Smoke only has to hit you one time, and then get a second hit, and it's over. For the most part. Like, he may have to throw you once or something, but that is a trait that sets him apart from the rest of the cast. So he can do something like this. Right? No other character can do that off of one decision. And that is, I think this is the problem. Is that Smoke players, they're too obsessed with, they want to rush down people and everything. The thing is, you don't have to make very many correct decisions with this character to win. And he might be the character that you have to make the least amount of correct decisions with per round in order to take a win. That is why he has all the gaps in his strings. That's why he has like bad defense and everything. It's because he doesn't have to work as hard in terms of when he actually gets a rewarding hit. That's why. It's because he only has to hit you once. And these are things about his character that I think have always been downplayed in a way it's always irked me because I don't know. I think that this is cool. This is like the kind of nuance that's in other fighting games that make matchups interesting to play, that make it interesting to see what the characters can do against each other. And it's the kind of thing that's lacking from the cast, right? I think that most people would agree MK's biggest flaw right now is it's too generalized. Characters like NRS is too concerned with making sure no one is too deprived of any aspect of playing of the game, right? There's some kind of zoning option, some kind of anti-zoning option, some kind of mix option, some kind of fuck neutral option. You get the idea. Their characters are too well-rounded. And what happens when you have a game where everyone's too well-rounded? You just end up with a game where whoever mixes the best wins. That's like the end point of that design philosophy. And it kind of goes back to the point that NRS really needs to consider going back to hard archetypes. Now, you don't have to do that 100%, right? But they definitely, if they want their games to have more staying power, they have to make their casts less generalized. That is a huge problem. And once again, because of an issue I pointed out before, the combo breaker, in the same way it homogenizes everything towards offense, I think that when you well-round your cast for the most part, that also homogenizes the game towards offense. And so that's all all it means is that whoever mixes the best wins, right? If everyone is mostly well-rounded, and make no mistake, despite the fact that on paper some characters have weaknesses, the cameo system prevents that from happening. They achieve the same objective that they achieve in all their games the exact same way. It's just in the form of the cameo system. So even though Smoke doesn't have a projectile, I have one now because I picked Serena, right? This is another balanced thing I've been thinking about in regards to their games, but also about Smoke. And I wish that there were more unique things about characters like that, but there just isn't. But I also think for Smoke players out there, you're criminals if you're downplaying this character, just for the reasons I told you. But yeah, I don't know. Just another small rant I wanted to go on. Just a thought I wanted to get out in the open. See ya.